So today we are here with Jenny Kitchen at Yoyo. Hi Jenny.
Hi.
Hey, how are you doing?
Very good, thank you. How are you both?
Yeah, good.
Good.
I just wanted to ask you to start off by talking a little bit about your business and the journey that you've been on to get to this point.
Yeah, of course. So we started in around 2011, and it's myself, James and Greg who run the business. And we all came from different backgrounds, creative, technology and marketing. And like most businesses, slightly naive at the time, we just thought we could do a better job than the agencies that we were working for beforehand. And we have done. We've produced some very good work over the years. And so we started off the business, and over the years then we've gradually sort of built up the team, client service team, project managers, designers, UX specialists, developers. So our core strength is around creating digital products. We do a lot of marketing campaigns. We do bits and pieces of branding. But I guess our true reason for being is that we just love solving problems. So our clients come to us with different types of business problems, and we solve it through creativity and technology. So for instance, we're working with a university and they came to us with the challenge around how do you re-engage alumni who've left the university sort of 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So we get all the teams together and all the teams here, we brainstorm different ideas and we come up with a solution to that. So that's been a 18-month campaign and huge success.
Fantastic. So what's that journey been like in terms of the team growth?
The team growth, well, we ended up bringing on board 2 or 3 people fairly quickly. And then each year then we've grown 30 to 40%. So we're the last year has been our best year yet, and I think that was about 42% growth. So yes, going well.
And how have you found that kind of process of bringing new people in and finding the right people to fit with your business?
Well, I think we've always been fairly lucky isn't the right word, is it? But we've worked very, very hard in cultivating that kind of internal, I won't say internal, but that employer brand, whereby we've got a very fun and dynamic team, very hardworking. We talk about the stuff very vocally on social media and things like that. So we're very well known, especially locally. And we had the decision, I guess, when I used to live in London with my husband James, who runs the business as well, and there was a decision in 2011, do we stay in London and create the business there, or do we come to Tunbridge Wells? Yeah. And actually, if we stayed in London, then the rent is higher, the talent pool is greater, of course, but it's so much more competitive. So that people aren't as loyal and things like that. So actually and we knew that we wanted a family. So actually moving down to Tunbridge Wells was absolutely ideal, and we've got amazing talent actually locally. It's a big creative hub down here. So it's going well.
It's really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I was trying to the conversation we were having yesterday.
Oh, really?
So what would you say your biggest challenges have been along the journey so far?
Biggest challenge, I guess it's always like, we were talking about this earlier on, weren't we, around sort of just agencies in general, then it's lots of ups and downs, and to kind of the highs, feast and famine, exactly that. So the highs are so high, but the lows can be quite low, and it's just, I'm naturally incredibly, I was going to say pessimistic, the opposite of that, optimistic person, and I keep a good sense of humour sort of throughout, so kind of even in tough times then we kind of all rally together, we're very focused on what we do, and thankfully those tough times we come out of them very quickly.
So I think it's those people around you that help you through those.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it's so, and that's the team. It's not that I don't believe in flexible working and working from home and things like that, but our team especially, they all come in. We have got a few freelancers and contractors, but mainly it's an in-house team, and we all work together day in, day out. So the ideas that go round and the sort of the collaboration between everyone is so good.
Do And then your physical space is really important part of that.
Exactly, it really, really is. And then, as you said, it's kind of, it really helps when you have kind of, when everybody's working towards the same goal and they're all coming together on it. So that definitely gets us through.
And that senior team, because there's 3 of you there as well, it's not just you on your own, because there's some stuff that you can't share, or do you protect your colleagues from that as well, you know?
No, we don't actually. So, well, there's a couple of things. Firstly, we've got a leadership team of 5 of us. So it's the 3 owners of the business, and then our head of client partnerships and our head of development. So we meet once a month and we brainstorm lots of different ideas for the business. But about 3 or 4 years ago, then I made a kind of a commitment to the team and a commitment to myself that we would be as open and honest as possible with the whole team, regardless of what that means. So I stand up at the end of each month and I talk openly about the finances and how we're doing and the successes and the failures. And it helps us to then all just keep on getting better, and to have that, like, ideas and innovation can come from all sorts of different parts of the business. And if everyone understands how this kind of beast is moving along, then everyone can kind of help support in that growth. And a couple of years ago as well, then we changed the scheme internally, whereby instead of having yearly bonuses, which was sort of a bit abstract, then we created a profit share scheme. So everyone has a vested interest in the profit of the business and the health of the business. So that's again my commitment to them to tell them each month how we're doing.
And does that help with the loyalty as well, do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Sort of bought in for the long term.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure, to be honest, whether it's kind of like whether it's that or not. I mean, I think the loyalty comes from the fact that we invest in our people. We've got a great sort of team and environment, and for an agency of our size, then we work with incredibly well-known and interesting clients, and the work that we do is really exciting. You know, it's kind of, we're working on emerging technologies, so we're doing lots of augmented reality and virtual reality projects. Then we're working on sort of projects whereby lots of people would have heard and seen the work that this team does. So actually that also breeds
pride in the work.
Exactly, pride in the work and loyalty. And satisfaction, exactly. Plus we have a lot of fun. So there's lots of, I mean, it's the same as most agencies, but we have quiz nights and kind of lots of trips to the pub. We had film night, we've got a big projector and pizza and things like that kind of in, and we'll go and travel everywhere, you know. So we'll do lots of different things, which obviously kind of increases staff satisfaction.
Great. You touched, for a moment there, Jenny, on your clients. Can you tell us a little bit more about clients that you've worked with or are currently working with? Yeah,
of course. So we've got, we're lucky in the fact, again, I use the word luck. It's nice, it's hard work, but...
sprinkle a little luck in.
Well, yeah, sprinkle a little luck, okay, a little bit of luck. But most of our clients, and they've been with us since the very beginning, and those accounts have sort of grown and grown over the years. We don't work in a particular sector. So we have got specialisms in the not-for-profit and the education sector and the financial services sector. But apart from that, then we've got quite a mix. And it's a mix of because of the experience of the team, then it doesn't necessarily, we don't tend to work with sort of startups or sort of very small companies, just because we can't offer the value that other agencies can. But from sort of medium-sized companies upwards, then we work with in the education sector, University of Southampton, Open University, in the entertainment sector, Universal Music, financial sector, JP Morgan, and lots of wonderful clients as well.
Yeah, so really nice range.
Yeah, exactly. And as well, when you're talking about sort of staff loyalty and things, or staff satisfaction, then that's the other side. You've got a bunch of creative people here. So if we just worked in a particular sector or just on a particular client, then that creativity gets slightly stifled. So actually having that range of them being able to sort of flex their creative muscles in different ways, really kind of, it keeps us all satisfied, to be honest, me included.
And you think about the kind of the tech, this seems to be this tech that you integrate with for your clients is quite a big part of it as well. It's not just the creative side, you've got quite a developer side of it, have you?
Exactly, and I think there's quite a few agencies, and they will sort of outsource the technical side of things, especially because technical teams, and they can be fairly pricey to run, especially when you're competing against teams in India or sort of Eastern Europe. But again, that creativity and collaboration that we're trying to sort of cultivate here, it's really important, because sometimes the tech actually drives the creative and vice versa, or drives the strategy. Yeah. So it's really important that they're all working together.
It's not disconnected.
Exactly. And so we've got very strong leaders, Calvin, Martina and Greg, who run each of those different sort of departments. And it is really them coming together, and that's where the magic happens.
They're such different people as well, aren't they? As well, that kind of different personality type. So actually, I think they almost you've got to be in the same building to get them to work together, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think we've worked really hard over the years of how, because project management, strategy, design and tech, then you can imagine the totally different personality types involved in those teams. And it's taken a while, and we still have to work at it, but it's what can be produced when all of those people see each other's perspective and work together. Yeah. It's never absolutely plain sailing, but over the years...
Because they're so different, yeah.
Because they're so different, but it's embracing that diversity and that difference.
And appreciating each other, what each other's doing and how the other... It's not just all about what they're doing.
Exactly
that. Getting together, yeah, that makes sense.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about new business development and growing your business, and how have you won new clients? And how do you kind of market yourself and bring new clients on board? Yeah,
of course. So in terms of the marketing side, even though I mentioned we have got a diverse range of clients, when it comes to marketing, then we do go specific to a particular sector. That's where we find sort of the best value that we're able to provide to those prospects. And giving us that kind of that focus and that targeted approach.
Yeah, rather than a scattergun approach.
Yeah, exactly. And so we put on a number of different events, sector-specific events, which have been very good in the past. Thankfully, and you should probably expect this, then our website is pretty good. So over the years, then that has won us some incredible opportunities. We had a business mentor actually a few years ago that said SEO won't bring you the kind of big clients, because the larger clients, they won't be searching through Google. It will all be through sort of networking and relationships. But actually that particular year, then we won projects with Marks and Spencer's, with Open University and several others. Right. But I guess I completely take his point there in the fact that you can never rest on one particular channel, and especially with SEO or organic search or even PPC, then it goes through waves. Sometimes we'll have very successful years using that channel, and other years not.
I think it's an interesting one. It's trying to get into perhaps the mindset of your prospect, isn't it? So I think it is easy to. I think I can understand where your business mentor was coming from.
Yeah,
but I think
absolutely.
often the decision maker won't do the search. They'll go to a kind of a more junior member of the team, and they'll often do their
exactly. And then if you're on the list, and obviously that then comes through into the sales team here, because marketing is the only job of marketing is to get that lead to the team, and because of the fact that we have got a lot of expertise here, we have got. I would say this, but we have got a lot to offer, and our pitch rate, win rate is fairly high. So actually kind of once the opportunities sort of are there, then we can, because of the value that we can offer, we have the expertise of London agencies, but we don't have the cost of London agencies. So competitively, then we're well placed.
And you've got a sales team as well in place.
Sales team, you're looking at it, but no, there's a few of us, and actually, again with sales, then instead of we don't really see it. Of course, it's sales, but it's not, we don't have a sort of a dedicated salesperson that's cold calling or that's sort of on the phone, then we're not like that as people. It's all about relationships. I build relationships with people, and we have we discuss about what their problems are and kind of whether we can help. And I can do that, but so can the rest of the team. So actually it's a real agency-wide focus on new business, as opposed to sort of a single individual over here doing it and then winning the business.
Shared responsibility.
Exactly.
But it's great to hear a marketing agency talking about sales, because I think often marketing agencies are the worst at marketing themselves and don't think about that new business and that, you know, that you need to be out there and be selling, don't you?
Yeah, that's it. But it's a lot. As always, it's a lot about awareness, and we are in such a competitive, very saturated market. And yes, we believe that we are different to other agencies, but so does every other agency. And so a lot of the time then it is about relationships, and some of the clients and some of the opportunities that we now work with, it's because of the fact that they have moved. Clients have been working with us for years, and they've moved from company to company. And the last opportunity for a very large bank, then our client said, I don't want to even put you through the pitch process. I want you as our agency. That's it. So that's the type of relationships, because we will invest as a team. We will invest in those kind of tenfold. So that's the partnerships that we aim to create.
Long-term relationships.
Exactly.
Yeah. So on the subject of the long term, my next question is about your vision for growth and the future, and what does that look like for Yoyo? Where are you working towards?
Yeah. Well, over the years, and again, I think there's quite similar to a lot of agencies, we've added to our services and tried to do as many things as possible. And over the last year, then we've really simplified that, and so we're very clear on the certain things that we do.
And that you don't do.
And that we don't do, probably more importantly, that we don't do exactly that. And so we've got our sort of, I guess, our focus over the last year has been building up the team and building up the structures in place to enable us to be in a comfortable position to then be able to add to that and grow. So that has been a lot of work on the leadership team, a lot of work in investment in individual sort of people. So now we're in the kind of good position that we're ready to go. So we've got as I mentioned, we had 40% growth last year. This year is a little bit less on the growth side, but more around consolidation and getting the team kind of focused, stabilising exactly. And our financial year is August. So from August, then it will be a next year of significant growth. So we'll be aiming sort of 40-50% or something like that at that time. So it's really kind of now, it's getting all our sort of ducks in a row, and we've got our marketing, we've got our sort of our different sort of event programs, our proposition, we're really tightening up on that. So then not come August, it's starting now, but focusing from August on really kind of getting that growth, and that will come from new business, but it will also come from growing our existing clients.
Yeah.
Great. So what does success look like for you?
God, big question. Do you know what? It has changed so much over the years. So throughout my 20s, I think success was always, even though I'm not a money-orientated person, then success equals money, and the fact that the more kind of revenue that you get in, the more people you hire, the bigger you are as a company, equals success. And I think that's when I first started. And I think over the years I've just completely kind of disregarded that whole kind of attitude, actually, because it's not that I don't want growth, I definitely do. But personal success is the small little things, the success kind of a couple of weeks ago when we won a deal that just I put my heart and soul into, and we won it. And so that is just sort of personal success, but also the team. Every little thing that they do, every sort of when I see someone grow and develop and they might get promotion or a pay rise, then that's just, I feel a little bit of pride, because I know that I've kind of been part of that, that enabling that.
So I totally agree, and I think also the fact that actually getting to a 50 or 60 size team may not actually be any more profitable than when you're, so actually, but
or more satisfying.
Yeah, but probably a lot.
Job satisfaction.
Yeah, but probably a lot more headache. So it's finding that sweet spot, isn't it? I think that does come as you get older as well, and your values change. You got family.
That's it. So I've got 2 very young kids, sort of 4 and 2. We have a very lovely life kind of in Tunbridge Wells. Our team are incredible. And that's the thing. Do I want to change all of that to see success as kind of growth of 50-man agency, 100-man agency, when I'm not exactly sure that will provide that satisfaction.
Growth for growth's sake, almost, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And if growth is a byproduct, and I can keep the magic of what we have now, then happy days.
Yes.
But if I can't, I'm very not interested, and I'm very, very happy of what we have.
Yeah, I really like that. Yeah, growth shouldn't be at the expense of what's important to you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And growth as the byproduct rather than the end in itself.
Yeah, completely. And it's that whole idea of kind of actually enjoying the journey. I think at certain times in the past, then it's been always a case, if you're constantly following growth, then you're not celebrating the successes that you have on the way, because it's always sort of like, well, what's the next deal? What's the next kind of, exactly. And I don't know, it sounds cheesy, but it's kind of like, it is all about the journey. It's about enjoying every day, every week, every month.
Do you think that James and Greg share that view? Because I'm going to ask you as a woman to a woman now. You're our first female interviewee. My feeling is that's a more feminine kind of answer. Mm-hmm. But I think men can answer that way as well. But I'm just interested to know, do you think that's more coming from you personally, or do you think they share that feeling?
No, I don't actually. I don't. So I don't want to put words in their mouth, but with James, then I think we've gone on the same journey together. So I think at the beginning, then we were both sort of around growth and revenue and sort of building up the team. And I think now there is just a different sort of outlook on it.
And do you think that's something that's sort of in the zeitgeist, or do you think that's unique to you? Like, do you see other people who share that feeling around you?
I think it's quite. I don't know if
it's different.
Maybe. I think it is fairly unique. A lot of sort of other agency owners that I know and talk to and share our trials and tribulations with, then they are all about growth for that sort of the revenue, the profit, and the team size. So yes, I guess we are sort of a bit unique in that sense. I mean, there's the other side as well around, I guess, kind of like maybe a more millennial type thinking around actually more compassion and care, and actually that understanding of what is life all about? Like, is it about money and working absolutely kind of every hour God sends you, or is it more about sort of satisfaction and doing good things and being part of a community and all of that kind of stuff? It's starting to sound really hippie-ish, but I don't.
Which is about impact and legacy. Just thinking about through your work and through Yoyo, what kind of impact are you seeking to make in the world, and what sort of legacy do you want to leave?
Oh my God, big question. Well,
in 3 words.
Exactly. Wow. Legacy-wise, I don't know. I just want to be remembered for being a good person. Like, I almost want to prove that you don't have to be ruthless in business to succeed.
Yeah.
That
And what about the impact?
You don't have to be
work
Mike Ashley,
that you do.
Impact for the work, just being remembered for, or not remembered, but the impact of our work. Then we do a lot of work in the charity sector and the not-for-profit sector, which obviously has huge satisfaction for us. So the impact of our work is very easy to see.
Yeah.
Saving lives at sea, saving animals, kind of working with children with mental health and things like that. So that I would like to continue that part of our business, because it does give a lot of job satisfaction. The impact of our work, again, I want to be known, as we are known already, but I want to be known for the fact that we deliver quality work and that we are reliable, we're imaginative and on time, on budget, and that we've got good partners to work with, and that we talk a lot about collaboration internally, but we do a lot of work on collaboration with our clients and creating co-blended teams to create that sort of that maximum impact, as opposed to us working over here and them there.
An extension of their team, basically.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, the innovation. What kind of innovation are you seeing in your industry at the moment? Because it's changed massively, hasn't it? The agency industry. One that's become saturated, as you've mentioned. What kind of new things are you starting to see?
I guess it's in a lot of sectors. Then we're seeing different forms of technology being used to, I guess, to benefit projects, but also to stand out and to be different. We talk about kind of our industry being saturated, but a lot of industries, not necessarily saturated, that might not be the right word, but the competition is just greater and greater because people's attention span is just getting lower and lower, and their choice is getting greater. Their kind of the demands on their time is getting greater, and so it's even more important nowadays to have more standout, and you can do that in many different ways, and kind of obviously having a great sort of product or having a great message, but from our side, then creativity and technology is a different way to stand out and to cut through that noise. And we never use technology for sort of gimmick's sake, but it is about kind of being memorable and doing something that's not the same as everyone else.
Not just having the biggest drum and hitting it as loud as you can. Exactly
that. And normally it's the sort of like, it's the quiet, considered kind of campaigns that actually grow traction, and obviously kind of we've had a number of projects of, let's take this project and let's make it go viral. Never happens. But it is around those kind of slow, considered sort of, I guess, ideas that then kind of get put out into the world and actually get taken up in different ways. And that's how you engage people.
Quiet and considered
and
campaigns.
What do you think is next for marketing and tech and creative? Like, where do you think the industry's going?
Interesting. In what sort of way? Just in sort of general sort of movement?
Yeah. So how do you think things are evolving? We've talked a little bit, I guess, about how things have changed.
I think kind of in marketing in general. I think in marketing in general, then we did this event last week around how to engage the unengaged, and we talk a lot about engagement as opposed to selling. And I think, that concept of don't sell to people has been around for a little while, but I think it's even more so now, is that the way that people buy from you, whether that's sort of, or no matter what industry, the way that people buy from you is very, very different now. So that engagement factor is really key. So I think that's one of the ways that marketing is changed.
I guess in an attention deficit kind of world.
Exactly.
I think it's going to be more and more of a challenge, like how do you engage people who are constantly overwhelmed and distracted? Yeah.
So then it becomes very much, again, this isn't a new thing necessarily, but it is becoming more and more important of actually truly understanding your customer, truly understanding kind of what their motivations are, what their sort of lifestyle choices are, what their daily life looks like. And then being really laser focused on them in particular, and creating marketing campaigns that engage that person in particular, rather than trying to create campaigns that are for everyone.
And then fall for no one.
Exactly, yeah, exactly that. And that becomes very tricky, especially when sort of marketing budgets are fairly tight. Then the natural thing in the world is for not necessarily marketing directors, but sort of maybe finance directors or people who aren't necessarily involved in the day-to-day of marketing. It's very easy for them to say, well, why are we only focusing on 5,000 people when we should be focusing on 50,000 people? Let's make those campaigns work for the 50,000 people. But the problem is with that is that, exactly as you said, if you're trying to create it for everyone, then you're creating it for no one. So it's far better to be totally sort of laser focused and to really understand your audience with those 5,000, you'll get far better return on investment.
And return on engagement is a phrase that's used.
Yeah, it is. But engagement is one of those kind of slightly tricky things to measure, and we're seeing it more and more sort of in the sort of advent of digital. Then it was a case of, it's brilliant, we can measure absolutely everything. And I'm a big fan of data, don't get me wrong, a massive fan of data. But sometimes it can cloud people's judgments.
You get lost in the data.
And you can get lost in the data, you can misinterpret data. And obviously data is only talking about the past, it's not about innovation in the future. So it's about using data and being having that as one area of influence to your marketing campaigns, but that only being one. Creativity and sort of engagement factors, and also the big idea that kind of gets lost when you go too far into the sort of data and wireframes and user experience.
I mean, lots of people talk now about the death of the big idea, don't they?
Yes, exactly.
What's your thoughts on that?
Well, Greg, our creative director, is absolutely sort of, on the one hand, livid by kind of the current situation, and he bangs the drum constantly around the big idea. And we've seen it. Sort of the last campaign that we did for University of Southampton, it was all around the big idea, and it's been hugely successful. We know that it works. Death of the big idea is definitely, it'll be the death of marketing if we carry on.
Probably takes us nicely on into our next thing, where we talk about passion and purpose. So, do you have what's your big why? Do you talk about why you do what you do? Or why the business does what it does?
Again, it's an interesting one, and I think to your point, sort of, I think it's going to be quite a feminine answer. How I'm going to answer this, but my why is always around people. It's always around people, and I absolutely love leading the team and the management of teams, building people up, investing in them, seeing them grow, seeing them develop, and then seeing and sharing their successes. And I think, I don't know, I'd like to say that I have a more commercial kind of side to that, but for me, then that's a side of my why anyway.
I love it. Yeah, really good.
Shall we move on to our last couple of questions?
Yes.
And ask you about what you think is the most vital quality for business leaders today?
Wow. Okay.
Not being ruthless.
not being ruthless. That's a good one. Do you know what? I think leadership has changed so much over the years, because of the fact that now, then anyone, no matter if they've just come out of university or if they've been in the business for sort of decades, then everyone's got access to Google. Everyone's got access to kind of similar information. And of course that doesn't beat, knowledge like that doesn't beat expertise and gut reaction and sort of instinct that gets built up over years and years worth of experience. But it does mean that the playing field has sort of been levelled a little bit between between bosses in their teams or leaders in their teams. And so that, so in terms of kind of like leadership and sort of what's vital as a business leader, then it's about I think around humility maybe is the word, but also just knowing that you don't have all the answers, and listening to your team and listening to the sort of the people that you manage, because most of the great ideas about Yoyo have not come from me. It's come from the team, and so I think that quality and that art of listening is really important.
Great answer.
Great answer. So you're empowering, basically. You're not saying, I've got all the answers.
Exactly.
Which then immediately takes it all out of the room, doesn't it? And I think it actually creates, in being that good listener, and you're creating that environment for innovation as well.
Exactly that, because, and I think kind of the innovation side, then I was at a dinner the other day actually, all around innovation, and it was just saying about sort of the sort of teenagers and how they are there. Yes, they've got all this kind of input and lots of different sort of like YouTube and whatever they're into, but the ability to be able to innovate is huge nowadays, because of the fact that you have got all this sort of different input.
So the last question is, if you could give one piece of advice for other people in business, what would it be? Top tip?
Top tip. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning, but optimism. It's small businesses are one of the, it's never easy. It's never ever easy. And even the greatest sort of like the days when you have loads of success, then there's always kind of like tomorrow and something happens, a bill comes through that you weren't expecting, or whatever it may be. So it's having that resilience and having that optimism.
Just going to say, with resilience.
Exactly.
The winning combination.
The winning combination. And the thing is, well, I've been in business for 8 years. A lot of businesses fail in their first few years. I'm pretty proud that we're still here, sort of 8 years later, and we're still strong.
Yeah, 80% have gone by. 80% have gone by year 3.
Crazy,
so
isn't it?
You're part of the magic 20.
Exactly that, and I'm hugely proud of that. And I do believe that optimism and resilience form a large part of that. Just keep on going.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic.
So if people want to find out more about Yoyo or connect with you, how can they do that?
So my email is jenny@yoyodesign.com. The website is yoyodesign.com, and I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, all the usual channels. So.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jen. That's been great. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.